Hello YouTube modeling community, Todd H here. Just saw the video that Chris Chapman put up about showing some of our builds that didn't maybe turn out the way we thought, or at all. Again, bearing in mind that I'm still really new back into the hobby. The kit before you was my very first build in probably the better part of 40 years, which probably goes to say, I guess, how old I am getting. If you guys go through my archives, there's a couple of videos in my archives on this build, and learning from some of you guys, this is a kit that even the more experienced builders aren't overly excited about. But I wanted a 55 Chevy, and this is the one that my local hobby shop had, so I built it. This was my very first build. This is how it turned out. Let's see if I can get it here. There's a lot of things wrong with this. It is pretty much box stock. The paint turned out okay. This was it's the Tester's One Shot or whatever it's called paint. Out of a can. I didn't have my airbrush yet, and for a spray can paint job, I was actually fairly happy with it. I was happy with how the wheels turned out with the Alclad, and weathered those up a little bit. That's the underside. My problem mostly with this kit, it's got the built-in chassis, which I'm not really a fan of. You can see where I tried to detail paint the tank and it didn't turn out so well. How these parts fit right here, these really don't have any specific place. The instructions were very vague on where they're supposed to go. This one doesn't even want to stay glued down. You can see where the drive shaft goes into the transmission. It doesn't really fit all that great, nor did it really have a place to go. The window didn't really fit the way I thought it would, or way I thought it should. Nothing really seemed to fit that great on this car. I did do a little bit of a black wash on the grille. I didn't do much detailing in the engine compartment besides that. The battery was actually supposed to go over here, but it just didn't fit right over here, so I put it on this side. I don't know if you can see, the chassis doesn't fit up to the body the way it's supposed to. There's a big gap there. It just, I don't know, just wasn't that great of a kit, in all honesty. But it was my first one. I completed it. I finished it. And I indicated, I marked it on the box. See if I can show you guys. I just put on here when I completed it. First model in 35 plus years, probably more like 40 years. So I always have it as a reference. So there's that one. The next model that I did was my Willys. This one turned out a little better. Sorry about all the moving around, guys. This one turned out a little better. Actually, I didn't. I got a correct this. I didn't do the Alclad on the wheels on the other one. I just put a black wash on the wheels. These wheels were done in Alclad, and that stuff seems to work really well for me. They don't look plastic. They actually look like they're little small aluminum wheels. It's really cool. This was my first bare metal foil job that I did, and as you can see, it's nowhere near perfect. It's missing. I need to find me a pointer. I don't know, maybe this will work. Pieces just didn't lay down right. I got glue on the windshield. The windshield, when I tried to put the interior tub in, the windshield moved around after I glued it. Chris was kind enough to make a video and point out a way to correct that, so I'm hoping to use that technique on the 50 Chevy when I get ready to put the interior in that. So yeah, I goofed on the suspension. I wanted to make the ladder bars a different color, and I got in too big of a hurry and assembled all the chassis, and then realized I had no clue how I was going to paint those after I glued it to the frame, because I wanted the frame to be black. I did do a little detailing on the oil pan. You can see the little black dots if my camera will focus for the oil pan bolts. It did come with a piece of photo etch for the grill, so I used that. I liked how that looked. But the bare metal foil, I got work to do on that, guys. A long ways to go on that. So there's that. So that's the first two models that I've built since I've been back into the hobby. Now on to this, the 50 Chevy that you guys have seen a few updates on. Realizing when I lowered this is my first attempt at lowering the suspension, changing the ride height. The rear suspension turned out pretty good. I did realize that I have the angle. Where'd my toothpick go? I don't have my toothpick. The angle of the center section is almost pointed too far up. So when I put the drive shaft in, it hits the top of whatever this is right here. It will work, it just wouldn't work in real life, so I was kind of bummed about that. The other thing that I did is, now that I got the big block Chevy, thanks to a very kind member of this modeling community, and I'm mocking that up, and how I lowered the front suspension is now going to interfere with how the engine's going to sit down in the engine compartment. It'll work. It's not going to sit in there quite the way I'd hoped. I've had to do some sanding to the oil pan, but I'm just gonna finish it. So basically, guys, there's my very first three models, and I've pretty much figured out a way to kind of how to make a mess out of every build that I've done to this point. But there are parts to the builds that I really like how they turned out. And like Chris said, you know, and many other guys on here, it's a learning curve, and when you haven't done something for such a very long time, like myself, you got to go with it. And are you a cup half full or a cup half empty type of person? I really like, and I've showed this many times, how this how my patinaed type of deal has turned out. I have put a little bit of a wash, not really, well, sort of a wash, kind of the rust wash from AK Interactive. I'm kind of nervous about how it's turning out and really how to do it, and I don't want to totally ruin it because I do like how it looks. So I don't know how carried away I'm going to get with that because I don't want to goof it up. And then, you know, I had the issue with one of my cool model house wheels falling, and it boogered up the white wall, but I've decided I'm just going to go with it. I don't know if I'm going to put it to where it's kind of up in the fender well, or if I'm just going to have it show. I don't really think there's a right or a wrong answer based on the last video and the comments that I got on it. So anyway, guys, I don't think anybody should feel bad about how their builds are turning out. I just showed you my very first two completed, and then this third one, the 50 Chevy. And there's stuff wrong with every single one of them. So everybody's been kind and helpful in this community. And you just keep learning. Anyway, this is 11 minutes long. I'm going to let you all get back to your weekend. You guys have a good week, and chat with you soon.